Aira had always kept her head down. She wore her hair long to shield her face and chose seats in the back of the room where no one would notice her. In school, people didn't bully her outright. They didn't have to. Their silence was louder than cruelty, and their eyes spoke in glances she wasn't supposed to see. She grew up believing she was wrong. Not just her looks, but her existence. She wasn't thin like the girls on the feeds, or tall or graceful. Her skin had scars from childhood eczema. Her teeth weren't perfect, and she had this awkward way of fidgeting with her sleeves when she was nervous. She hated mirrors. By the time she turned 21, she had trained herself to disappear. Even when she walked down the street, she moved like a ghost, quick, quiet, hoping no one would see her long enough to judge her. She worked nights cleaning offices, just her and the empty halls. It was lonely, but it was safe. Then one evening, everything changed. She was wiping down a glass door in the atrium of a design firm when she noticed someone had left a sketchbook behind. It was thick, spiral-bound, and covered in messy charcoal fingerprints. Curious, she opened it. Inside were portraits, dozens of them. Strangers' moments, faces in movement. Beautiful work, alive and raw. Then she turned a page and froze. It was her. She recognized herself instantly. Leaning against a railing in the break room, mop in hand, headphones on. She hadn't seen the artist, hadn't realized anyone was watching. But the way she was drawn, it didn't look like the girl she saw in the mirror. This version of her was glowing, serene. The eyes were gentle, thoughtful. The curve of her lips, like they held stories never told. You found it. She spun around, startled. A man in a loose hoodie stood behind her, holding a takeaway coffee. Sorry, he said quickly, hands up. Didn't mean to scare you. She clutched the sketchbook, cheeks burning. I didn't mean to snoop. He smiled. It's okay. I leave it lying around too much. She hesitated, then pointed to the drawing. Why me? He looked down at the page, then up at her again. Because you were real. Everyone else was posing, performing. You were just there, present. You had this stillness I couldn't look away from. Aira didn't know what to say. Compliments felt foreign, like shoes that didn't fit. I'm not pretty, she mumbled, eyes on the floor. He blinked, confused. What? I mean, people don't draw people like me. I'm not beautiful. He stepped closer, his voice softer. You don't see it, do you? See what? You glow, not in a made-up, social filter kind of way. You have this quiet light, the kind you notice in people who survived something and kept going anyway. That's beautiful. Aira didn't answer. Her throat felt tight, like she might cry if she opened her mouth. No one had ever said something like that to her, not even close. He glanced at his watch and backed up a step. I'm Alex, by the way. I work in the animation team. If you ever want to talk or sit for a sketch, I'd love that. She nodded, barely able to form a reply. He smiled one last time and walked away, leaving the sketchbook with her. That night, Aira went home and looked in the mirror. Really looked. She didn't magically see a supermodel or suddenly love every inch of herself. But she saw something different, a softness, a spark. The lines of her face were no longer just flaws. They were stories, proof she had lived. She picked up a pen and wrote in her journal. Maybe I'm not invisible. Maybe I was never ugly. Maybe I just needed someone to see me before I could see myself.